Hi everyone, Fox is here and welcome to my weekly wrap-up. This is going to be the wrap-up for the week between April 23rd and April 29th. I'm so surprised that I managed to read something during that week because it was the first week after my parents left after a 2 weeks visit and I was so exhausted. Plus I had some stuff happening during the week. I had a party at work and I also went to a concert and just had a lot of things that were happening. That's why I'm so surprised that I read at all, and I do try to read every single day. However, it's still hard when you have a full-time job and some other engagements. And yeah, well, without further ado, let's just get started with it. It's going to be a very short one. The first thing that I read was the graphic novel series, and I read the Backstagers issue number 5 and Backstagers issue number 6. I adore the series. As far as I know, there are supposed to be only 8 issues, and this is a story about a backstage crew at a school theater, and apparently whatever backstage is not just a backstage, but there is a door to a whole magical other dimension, magical world, whatever you want to name it, and it's so adorable. I just love it. I love theater, as you know, and I also love the fact that this story has so many diverse characters and everyone is just so adorable. There's one character whom I don't really like, but otherwise everyone is just so adorable and I love it, and it's all like bright colors and so happiness, and it's just a delight to read the series. I gave both volumes 4 stars each and it was just adorable. I cannot wait to read the last 2 issues because the previous issue, the last issue that I read was issue number 6 and it left with a bit of cliffhanger, and I'm like, I want to know, man. I just want to know what's gonna happen next. That's one of the reasons why it's not very good to read issue by issue, because you have to wait and I have no patience. But yeah, please check out those series. They're super short, super adorable, and if you're into some sort of magical stuff happening, that's definitely a series for you. Then I read another graphic novel, and that was this one, Summer by Mariko Tamaki. And it's been a while since I've been this disappointed in a book. I have seen this book all over bookstores and I've seen it on the booktube as well. I've been having this book on my wish list on Overdrive for a while, and I just couldn't wait to read it because I like the fact that, first of all, it is by a Canadian author. Secondly, this author is one of the authors in Geek Girls. That is another graphic novel that I'm really looking forward to read, and I also met some of the authors. I'm not sure if I met Tamaki herself, but I met other authors from that graphic novel, and I just wanted to love it so badly because everyone seemed to like it. I also looked at Goodreads reviews and a lot of people were saying about how it is so nostalgic and it's so beautifully crafted and the art is amazing. What? Personally, I hated everything. I did not like the art. I did not like it to the point that some of the characters seemed very similar to me. I did not like the story because the only twist to the story, which was revealed at the very end, I could see coming like from the very first page or from the very first time it was mentioned. This book was cited to have some sort of LGBT diversity in it, but I did not notice anything except for a casual mention of some lesbian couple. I mean, I don't really get it why everyone likes it. Yes, it is set in Canada. Yes, it is set in Ontario, which is great. And it does have this sort of small town cottage summer feeling, which is great. But for me, the characters were rather flat. There was no character development. The character of Wendy really annoyed me. She annoyed me a lot. And I don't know why is everyone so in love with this graphic novel. For me, there was no plot. I didn't really care about small town vibe and everyone knowing everything about everyone. And those two girls were watching horror movies, which I absolutely hate. I could not really relate to anything that was happening in the story. And at the very end, I'm still not decided whether it was a positive, like a good ending or not. And I gave it 2 stars. Probably I should have given it 1 star, but I never give 1 stars to the books if I finish them. So I did finish it, but why is everyone in love with it? I don't get it. Unfortunately, I was really disappointed by this book, and this kind of sucks because I really want to like and I really want to read more Canadian authors, and it just pains me that I did not like this one. So yeah, unfortunately 2 stars. And the last but definitely not least is The Spy by Paulo Coelho, and this is the book that I got really attracted to by the fact that it's about Mata Hari. I did not know much about Mata Hari before I read this book. This is supposed to be partially fictional, partially historical novel. It is based on true facts, and it is based on articles and research, like the author did actual research about Mata Hari, but at the same time there are some things that he had to tweak to make the story flow. I did enjoy this book. I wouldn't call it my favorite, and surprisingly enough, I think it is the first book by Paulo Coelho that I've read. My mom used to be a huge fan of Paulo Coelho, and I'm really surprised that I never picked up any of her books. I might have read The Alchemist, but I'm not sure because I don't really recall what it was about. But I did enjoy this book. Like I said, I wouldn't call it my favorite. I think the fact that it has to do with the death of a very strong-willed woman who went through horrible things before she reached that level of luxury and fame, and the fact that she came from a very small town in the Netherlands, and the fact that she married a guy based on some sort of fantasy, it's really kind of painful to read at times. This book is written in the form of the final letter that Mata Hari wrote in prison, and I did enjoy that. However, like I said, the story of Mata Hari ends tragically, as you know, and reading all of that and knowing that it will bring the story to this horrible ending was kind of difficult, but at the same time it was a very easy read. I don't know how to explain it properly, just because on one hand it was horrible to read about everything that Mata Hari went through, including sexual abuse, emotional abuse, etc., and then how she became who she became. But at the same time, I just wanted, at some point, I just wanted to shake her and go like, can't you see that you're basically digging your own grave? And it's obvious that she was not a stupid woman. She was very smart because she did manage to reach that level in life, but she made several mistakes that were her downfall. I cannot really say what disappointed me in the story. It's a bit difficult to distinguish between whether my disappointment comes from the fact that I had a very different perception of Mata Hari, and I thought of her as an actual spy, but this book claims that she was not, and I'm kind of torn inside. I did enjoy this book, and it was a very easy read in spite of the rather heavy subject matter at times. Nevertheless, I gave it only 3 stars because for me it just felt as if a lot of things were still left unsaid, obviously because probably there is not much historical evidence about her life, but mentions of Eiffel Tower, of Paris, of First World War, mentions of actual places and actual people. For example, Oscar Wilde delighted me a lot, so that book was a very easy read. I read it purely on transit while commuting somewhere, so it took me a couple of weeks to read it, even though it's super short and this is a large print, so it's pretty big. But there were some moments that I really enjoyed in that book, so if you are a fan of this writer and if you would like to read more about Mata Hari, this might be not a bad book to read, but otherwise I think you need to be in some sort of, like a historical fiction mood to actually pick it up. I wouldn't call it really heavy style or prose-wise, it's quite light and very readable, but the easy way that she writes about, or rather the author writes about abuse, I didn't really like it. But like I said, this is life, this is true story, and I really love this cover. It's probably one of my favorite covers because it's so beautiful and the colors are amazing. So yeah, kinda an interesting read. This is it. This is everything I read in a week. Hope you enjoyed it. Please leave me a comment down below if you read The Spy. I would be very interested in hearing your thoughts about it. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you very soon. Bye! I hate allergies because they make my nose feel as if someone punched me in the face. Do you know that I cut my hair a week ago? Nobody can probably tell because you can never see my hair. But now it's somewhere in the middle of my back, and it used to be way below that. I cut like 5 inches. Yep. Hi everyone. Why is there always an ambulance outside of my window? I have my window closed. That's ridiculous. I do read on a daily basis